not prepared!
Welcome to another deck guide video, guys. Today we're gonna look at Curse Warlock and how you can play better with and against it. Curse Warlock is definitely a very strong deck right now, and if you're skilled enough with it, you're probably not gonna have any bad matchups with it. Like, it's seriously broken, especially against your average Hearthstone player. In top 1000, it's not performing insanely good, but from Diamond 5 to Legend, you're probably gonna be demolishing everything you face, because you have so much control tools and you have so many ways to win the game. Hope you enjoyed the deck guide, and if you do, a like and subscribe is always welcomed. And also don't forget you can hire me for some Hearthstone coaching for lower than $20 per hour. Now let's check out the guide. Curse Warlock right now is insanely strong, and as you can see from my last coaching sessions, the first one we went literally 16-0 from Diamond 5 to Legend, no questions asked, like absolute demolishing everything in our path. And on the next coaching session where we played with Jadis, who is an 11x player, which means we played against top 1000-ish MMR players, we still had a pretty respectable result, with only 7 losses from Bronze 10 to Diamond 6. So yeah, the deck is very strong if you know what you're doing with it. Here's what the version I like to use looks like, but there are plenty of different versions out there, including ones that don't run the gnolls. You have your tech card slots with Trust Your Viper and the Silence guy. Demonic Assault also feels pretty interesting, including in this deck. Mutinous could be an inclusion instead of a Viper, let's say. Greedier versions could include weapons and whatnot, but I do believe that's kind of a bait. But yeah, this is the version I kinda like the best. I definitely see merit switching out the Viper for, let's say, the Demonic Assault, cause getting a couple of taunts like that can really help you out in the early turns, and it's also a fel spell so you can copy it with your Damson for instance. But the Viper can also be crucial against Paladins, let's say, or even Hunters or Demon Hunters. We have the Mixtures of Mixtures in the early turns so you can really tempo some stuff out, which also heals up your hero power, which almost always happens on turn 2. Mortal Coil is a nice flexible card with which you can draw stuff, and it gets copied out of your Damson, as well as your Touch of Naphrazim obviously, which you're pretty happy using defensively. Drain Soul as well. With Bran you can do some pretty good stuff, but also in some matchups do not be afraid to tempo him out. Let's say against a Mech Paladin, against a Mech Mage, against a normal Big Spell Mage. Tempoing out Bran rarely has an answer because 4 health is not easy to get over with. The only real answer you could be expecting out of some of those decks would be getting silenced, but people usually run a single copy of that card, so odds are in your favor that Bran's actually gonna stick. Don't just throw him out for the sake of it, but try to do it when you already have something like a Cultist or at least a Teacher, because getting double Battlecry on the Teacher and even maybe on the Noggling could be pretty good. But also you can just use him the traditional way, saving it for later turns where you can do something like copy him twice with Zola, or playing a Cultist and copying the Cultist twice, going for double as a Kuel, or even a Queen Ashara could be insanely good. But also don't forget you can use Bran with something like, let's say, Entitled Customer, and that's gonna be a double AoE, and that really deals with everything on the board, like even 12/12 Deathwings, which mages love to cheat out as soon as turn 6. This would be an interesting way for you to consider dealing with that. Like if you stuck a Bran on turn 5, this does allow you to go for an Entitled Customer like that. But you can also use it for a double Damson, and that would be a very big hand refill, even though in all of the games that never really happened for me. A, because your hand size is probably not gonna be big enough, and B, I never just got those cards to combo like that. You have your Dragged Below, which you can copy twice with your Damson, which is pretty important. And also a cool thing about Dragged Below is it's a great spell for you to actually copy with Queen Ashara's Ring of Tides, which copies the last spell you've played, and that way you can get 4 Dragged Belows for 7 mana with Damson, as long as you set it up properly with Queen Ashara before that. The Viper and the Starfish are obvious tech cards in here, and you can be creative about these if you feel like you prefer something like Mutinous, which personally I feel is a bit too slow, but I definitely see the merit against something like a Rogue or a Paladin. You can go for that, but the Starfish has saved me more than once, so keep that in mind. Your Cultists are insanely good right now because you can tempo them as soon as turn 2 or 3, and they usually stick around for a while, and you can actually be quite the board-centric deck in some cases. Like, sometimes when the game clicks, you just tempo out as soon as turn 2 or 3 with some of these, and the opponent can't answer you. Like, let's say if you're against a Big Spell Mage, they really don't have much in terms of early game, so if you just tempo a few of these, they're gonna have insane troubles just fighting for the board in the early turns. And same goes with your Gnolls. Sometimes you just tempo them without having something to rush into, because usually it's a free mana 5/4, and like, what more can you want? Damson Rome we have for obvious reasons, so you can double up some of them good spells. You could use it offensively for extra curses, but you can also use it defensively, so you can double up your Drain Soul, your your Touch of Nephrazim, your Mortal Coil, but obviously you would prefer to do it for the Dragged Below and for the Abyssal Wave even, that might also work. Even though you are killing your Tamsin, she still is gonna copy the spell first and then die heroically. Zola you can use in all sorts of different ways. You can copy an extra cultist and feel good about it. You can even double copy Bran like that, and that can be somewhat good. You can use it to copy your Queen Ashara, maybe your Spice Bread Baker, but you can also do it on something like an Entitled Customer, that can feel insanely good. You can do it on your Goldshire Gnoll and that's gonna still be pretty good. And against board-centric matchups, copying your Gigafin usually is like devastating for them. If they couldn't deal with the first Gigafin, they don't have anything to do against the second one either. Your school teachers are incredibly good, especially if they're generous enough to actually give you some of the spells you're running in the deck, like let's say Drag Below or Drain Soul, Touch, Mortal Coil. All 4 of those spells are pretty good to get, but you also have some random good stuff from time to time as well. Like sometimes you're just gonna be desperate for something like Full-Blown Evil or even the Unstable Shadow Bolt. That can be insanely good in some cases. So if the going gets tough, you might have to go for a Hail Mary out of the teachers and expect something along these lines. But you're definitely not gonna be too sad if you get something like Seed of Destruction, because you do draw a lot and you are gonna get a bunch of those free frees relatively early. You also have some board-centric action you could expect from it, with Fiendish Circle or the Imp Swarm, which is always gonna be a rank 1 spell by the way. But also getting a couple of imps out of it is also considered somewhat okay. We have 1 copy of Spice Bread Baker in here, and it can really save you in the later turns, but you usually want to top deck later and don't keep it in the early turns, so keep that in mind. And also comboing this with Bran can also save your life sometime. Like getting the double battle cry for something like 8 health each is just devastating for the opponent most of the time. Queen Ashara, you obviously want her for getting the copy of a spell, but also in some cases, if the opponent is playing smart against you and they're keeping a full hand, you can go for a random Colossal and just tempo that and feel good about it and force the opponent to actually have to respond to that. The other 2 spells are also not the worst thing in the world, but usually you definitely prefer one of these 2 unless there are some specific reasons not to. Zakiel is pretty nice, and even tempoing him out it feels good because it gives the opponent a curse, and it's also quite the chunky minion, so dropping this on an empty board definitely forces the opponent to respond. Abyssal Wave is an okay removal tool, but also it's a shadow spell you copy with Tamsin, and also curses equal profit. Dreadlich Tamsin is one of the best cards you could be hoping for, and you basically always want to have her, because you do get the free cards, you get the armor, and also getting random free frees from time to time definitely helps you remain board-centric, and not having to slap your face for 2 damage each time you want an extra card really helps too. Entitled Customer is insanely good, and you can really be versatile with your board clears that way. Same goes with Gigafin, just don't forget you want the Taunt to die first before Gigafin, so you can permanently destroy them. And also Goldshire Gnoll is a perfect inclusion in this deck, because you do want to have a big hand size anyway for your customer, and you always get to play this at least for only 3 mana. Just don't forget to play this first when you are gonna be going for a turn, because if you start with a different card, this obviously is gonna go 1 up in mana. And vice versa, don't forget you can include a tap if you're gonna be floating 1 mana anyway, so you can get an extra card and the Goldshire Gnoll discounts by 1. Matchup wise we don't have too much stats, but this is what it looks like for a similar deck that's running 1 extra Spice Bread Baker instead of a Viper. Fel Demon Hunter is gonna be rough, and I did feel that. Beast Hunter, however, I really think you are heavily favored against those. Like, the Beast Hunters we faced, they were high rolling like hell, and we still managed to win like pretty cleanly. Big Spell Mage as well, like it's very hard for you to lose against a Big Spell Mage. Thief Rogue honestly felt like they could be holding their own, but yeah, we weren't losing much against those either. Murloc Shaman could be scary if they really tempo on you and you don't get your good early turn removals. And here are the stats from a bit different version, but still you get the idea. You're gonna be good against Paladins, against Druids, Priests, Mages, and not so good against Mind Rogue, I guess. On the mulligan, going first, you're probably always gonna want to keep your Mixtress, and most of the time your Cultist is gonna be a good keep as well, unless you're against a Demon Hunter. If you're against a Demon Hunter, you're probably not too happy putting a Cultist against them, because they can just go with the weapon, multi-strike hero power, and just bounce for extra 4 damage like that, and you're probably not gonna be too happy about it. Drag Below makes a lot of sense most of the time, but it's not something super amazing to get. Dreadlich Tamsin you're always gonna want to keep. Depending on the matchup, you might also want to keep some removal, or the Goldshire Gnoll. But all in all, be smart on the mulligan phase and really try to predict what you should be going for depending on your opponent. When on the coin, you should be even more reactive here, because the opponent is gonna be playing something before you. But again, Dreadlich Tamsin is your best friend, the Gnoll becomes super keepable as well, Mixtress is pretty decent, Drag Below and Cultist pretty good as well, Touch of Nephrazim depending on the opponent, Mortal Coil can be a keep, especially against Druids nowadays because most of them are running a lot of 1 health minions, if they are the aggressive kind, which I saw a lot more than usual. Drain Soul can also make a lot of sense, and don't be too greedy about the lifesteal, like if you can remove something with 3 health against a hunter, let's say a Naga, definitely don't hold back so you get some damage first. Like, if they buff that up to 6 health, you're gonna have a hard time removing it, and Doggy Biscuit is very popular right now for hunters. School Teacher I would normally not keep too much, but if you're curving into it, going second I guess that's fair. And also Bran could be an okay keep in certain matchups, like if you already have something like Cultist in hand, you can definitely try holding on to Bran, maybe coining him on 2, and following up with Cultist on 3, that could be pretty strong. Again, depending on the matchup, and if you're curving into it, Customer might also make a lot of sense. But all in all, again, be smart about it and curve properly against the individual matchup. Still, another thing you really need to know about the deck is when you're giving the opponent curses, you could actually burn cards for him that way. Like, if the opponent is trying to somewhat keep a full hand against you so you can't really go crazy against him, and if he's at something like 8 cards, you can give him a couple of curses with, let's say, Bran into Cultist. That gives him a couple of curses and he will be burning the next card. But if the opponent is smart and actually just decides to play one of those curses next turn, and still end his turn with 10 cards including 1 curse, that way he denies you giving him extra curses, but he also denies you burning him cards, because the leftover curse is first going to proc and remove from his hand, and then he top decks another card. So that is a smart way for the opponent to actually play around Curse Warlocks. But they can't do that permanently, you know, like, they basically can do that once every couple of turns, and they still probably leave you with A, an option to give him extra curses, or B, just burn cards. And also another minor tip, if you play a Gigafin and expect the opponent to have a full board wipe, both Gigafin and the appendage die at the same time, the opponent still gets his minions spit out. So keep that in mind when feeling good about playing Gigafin against a Paladin and he just goes Pyromancer equality and gets his stuff back. All in all, the deck is definitely not cheap, you have plenty of legendaries. But the good news is, you have Bran and Zola for free, and the rest of the legendaries are pretty core for Warlock, aside from Zakul obviously, which is only core for Curse. And you could even change him up if you don't have him, you can definitely try the deck without Zakul and decide if you want to craft it later. But yeah, it's definitely not the cheapest of decks. Anyway, that's gonna be it for the guide, hope you enjoyed it, and now let's check out some of the games from our coaching session with Jadis. Enjoy! Ooh, this is one of the classes we lost against. Let's not repeat that.
Not our favorite.
Yeah, just keep the Mixtress. Do you want me to start asking you more questions now that you saw the deck in action?
Yeah, but not here with the Demon Hunter.
Sure. Well,
okay, start
here.
with the... Yep.
Okay, this guy looks like Fell Demon Hunter. Hero power in the face.
Power. Face. Go face.
Cultist Tempo.
You are not prepared. I'm blind.
Andre Bread, thank you for the follow, Andre. Welcome to the stream. Andre Bread. Oh boy. Should be countering a minion, I do believe.
Then we can Drain Soul and trade it.
Yeah, try using Drain Soul on him first. Cool. Hero power. And just go face, I think. Actually, we should have traded. We should have traded because now he has the weapon. Multi-strike hero power, that's gonna be sucky. Fuck. Well, we should have traded. Oh, okay. Okay, easy then. Easy. We do not care about that. So not trading helped a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm really not passionate about this guy drawing all these cards, but also that's a lot of stuff on the board. Do we keep this silence for anything in particular?
Wanted to ask? Because I don't know the Fell Demon Hunter list.
Not really. We are gonna take a bunch
We
of
can-
damage here, but... Deal 5 AoE, but we are missing 1 mana.
Yep. It's nice. And 4 damage AoE. And for the
Oh, I think
vector.
he's actually talking about the full-blown evil. Should we give it a
Ah.
test? Yeah, try School Teacher.
Yep.
It could suck big time, but... Mortal Coil, one of
Mortal
them.
Coil.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's good enough. This is same as playing a Gold Shark Gnoll. Yeah, you're right, Jinky. Would have been amazing. This also worked. Touch would have been fine. Drain would have been fine. And the Mortal Coil was also pretty decent. Okay, 4 damage AoE's happening.
Yep.
Oh, he even trades. I mean, of course he trades. Why would he not? Yeah, use the 6 mana Abyss. So... Shit. Not shit. Sucks to be this guy. That's just better.
Okay.
Tamsin
Then
Touch. Yeah, you have
Tamsin
room.
Touch. Okay.
You could even Tamsin Gnoll. But I'd rather hold on to the Gnoll, leave him with no targets
Yeah.
to fuck around with. He definitely is not very smart about using his Tamsin, his Lady Steno without spells while in Kirchhoff's form. That could have been huge for him, now it's sucky.
Okay. We could wave and 1 Gnoll. The
Use
remaining.
him with a 5-1. I'm down with that, sure. You could have even actually started off with the Gnoll, so it leaves him with nothing, but I like having a 5-1 here. It can suck a Fel Barrage, it can take a hero power from him. Could just go Jace here. He's been curving out awfully good lately. But his Jace is pretty empty. Okay, there's that multi-strike we were afraid of. Yeah, he's definitely setting up for a Jace. Would have been lovely if we had a Mutinous here, but we don't. Okay, he just used the multi-strike, he already used 1 weapon. I think it's safe to assume we can tempo out a bit. Wait a second, can we just kill him? We have Zakheel, so that's gonna heal us nice and good, so Bran Zakheel is perfect.
Bran? Zakheel.
Should we even drop Miss Mixtress? I think
I
you should.
think, yeah.
It does give him some healing back, but also if he tries to kill us with some bullshit, this
Nope,
always stops him.
He doesn't.
Easy. Do I play this deck as well? I haven't really played this deck myself at all, but I did coach on it. Last night, I did coach on it a few weeks ago as well. Last night went 16-0 with this, so I'm fairly certain I know what I'm doing with it. Fairly certain. To a degree, you can say I actually know what I'm doing with this one.
Okay, Mage. Keep the Cultist. On coin, keep Tamsin.
Yeah, I'm down to keep those two. Which are 2 of the removals we were hoping for. Well, we did get the wave, but it turned out not effective anymore. But yeah, Tamsin plus Cultist.
Okay.
1.
Okay. Mistress for temple.
Yeah, always.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
That's right.
Cool. Mm.
Hmm.
Hero power and traded still.
Okay. And that's
Yeah.
it.
That's all. Just a cultist, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
More bones to gnaw on.
Oh wow. We can do some serious damage to this man really soon. Really soon. Maybe for now we just coin Tamsin. Still feels kind of cool.
Okay.
But this is the situation what I was talking about. You can really do a ton of curses in one turn with setting up Queen Ashara with the 1 mana copy spell, and the turn after, turn 7, Tamsin into Dredged Below, into 1 mana copied spell, into 2 of the copied spells. He needs to give us some minions to fuck around with, but he probably will. Still need 1 extra spell to play. He gave us a good target. Okay, what do you want to do?
I would play Gnoll first, then we can below the post, patch post.
If you do the below, you are wasting the combo piece I was talking about.
Ah, yeah.
No, we're
Sorry.
just gonna drain solid and hero power after that. So yeah, play the Gnoll first.
Gnoll first. Okay. I said Gnoll first.
Sure you did. You still could have hero power second. I mean, no, you don't hero power second. What am I talking about? Okay, that is all. So next turn, Queen Ashara is ready for whatever. So we're really gonna give him some good curses to fuck around with. Let's see, is that the play? Ooh, that's a nice board we just got. Yeah, you still Queen Ashara. Queen Ashara
Okay.
for 1 drop. The far left, I mean, the Ring of Tides.
Ring of Tides.
And just go face.
It's not a 1 drop. That's why.
We burned the top deck now. That was a bad decision for me to drink water at the end of the turn. Noticed we were at 10 cards, but my mouth
Yeah.
was full.
You said
Yeah, but
1
we should have
drop.
used the touch. Should have used the touch there.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We're left with stuff to fuck him up with.
Okay, doc. So let's now concentrate.
What is taking so long?
I'm still down to go for it. Tamsin.
Tamsin.
3 mana
Yep.
Tamsin.
Yeah.
Haven't heard of me?
3 mana Drag Below on his 3/4. Go face with the 5/1. use the 1 mana drag below on the 5-1. And that's all for now. Let's leave the Tamsin live. Got a lot of curses now for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't go round.
Yeah, he fills his hand, so we cannot continue. Oh, he doesn't. Cool. So the onslaught continues.
Our target is there.
Yeah, go with a 5 mana Zakul, hero power, and drag below the 2-2. I can tradable that as well.
Viper.
Yeah,
Okay.
trade it.
And enter.
Yeah. And as soon as these curses are gone, new one
Yeah.
come. Yeah, next turn. If he doesn't
Yeah.
keep his hand full, he's just dead. Cool.
Nice try with the
Those still proc, right?
curses.
I think those still
Yeah.
proc, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
I
like
haven't
with
seen
the
that before, but the burn cars do act
Yeah.
like that.
yeah, that's why. Because if the full hand size does, then this one too.
Are you really sure about that? Are you sure enough to test it?
Yeah, I am sure enough to test it.
Okay, let's just use the free mana drag below on the free 7 and drain soul.
And the drain
And
soul.
hero power and pass. I mean, you can go face. I mean, don't go face. Don't go face. Trade the 2 free. Trade the 2 free. And pass quick so we can see the curses.
6. So
It didn't trigger. My question was, will the dredged curses trigger from his deck?
okay. No. That's not.
Okay, well, I mean,
I meant,
I'm not gonna test a game where I think we are not gonna get lethal anyway, because we had lethal here. You could have just dragged again. Well, go face, dragged again. I literally thought the curses would still leave his deck at the end of the turn.
Okay, no.
Like the burn cards, like Immolation, whatever it's called, the new
No,
card
no,
that
no.
burns cards. It still burns the cards from his deck even though he
Yeah,
them.
I understand now. I
Yeah.
understand now. No, not that
Okay.
way. It's in the deck. So
Okay.
it's not.
Okay, what do you do?
I would keep the tens in.
Yeah.
I know it's first, but
I think you also keep the Mortal Coil. Seems like
yeah,
every druid we faced today has run the 1/1s.
yeah.
Okay, acceptable.
Mhm.
Interesting, that's all.
Job's done.
Another rogue.
Okay.
Okay.
A
that
rogue,
is amazing.
rogue druid.
Rogue
But still, removal is good. Okay, hero
is-
power. Hero
Yeah.
power. And
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty lucky tradables for the man.
Maybe without the gnoll.
Wow. No such luck.
No.
Well, at least we deal with it easily. But should we deal with it easily?
You mean drain soul touch?
Yeah, it's a lot of healing down the drain, but it's a gnoll down the drain too. If we do that, that still leaves us with a gold shard gnoll possibility next turn, so... No, it doesn't. It's gonna be up to 5. Ah, fuck it. Drain soul, touch it. We don't need to be tapping too much anyway, because we have Tamsin on the way, but still.
You can't always trust what you see.
Okay, his hand must be ass if he wants to dredge like that this early. Just school teacher, sure.
School teacher. Okay.
Drag below.
Drag below.
Have it
Okay.
in the deck for a reason.
Job done.
Okay. Sure.
Fine.
Trust no one.
Cool.
Not even me.
The older list.
Yeah. Okay, what's the play here?
Okay. Start with the Gnoll and trade one agent and negling the other agent.
Exactly.
More bones to gnaw on.
Let's hope he goes with the boats now. Boats, boats, boats.
Is hard running it? Yes. Okay.
I mean, you can't really discover Jackpot. It's a rogue card. Draws a Naga and a spell. What Naga is this guy running? I guess Queen Ashara. So this guy has a pretty greedy list. I'm not sure I
Haven't
wanna...
seen? No.
I mean, it's still a lot of value for us, though. Ah, fuck it. Go with the Tamsin. I mean, go face and then Tamsin.
Yep.
Still loads up your entitled customer, draws you some good stuff. Like, obviously it's good against his boats, but he didn't play it last turn, so what are the odds of him having it this turn? Okay, we got some refill. Cool.
Ah, it's not bad.
Let's muddy the waters.
Sure. I'd leave those live for a bit, I feel.
We could tradable the Viper and then customer.
I kind of think we should leave him live for a while, because the customer is our biggest way
Okay,
of
okay.
removing.
So long.
And this guy can repeat all of the bullshit spells he's cast, so could turn out to be bad in the long run if we waste it like this. Let's start
Okay,
with a Hero
okay.
Paris, see where that takes us.
Right.
Tradable the Viper.
Fetch the 2/2.
Yeah, 2 touches on the 2/2 sounds fine. No, the Mortal Coil, I mean. 2 touches
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the 2/2.
two Mortal Coil.
Yeah.
Because you said touch
True.
again.
Mhm. Okay, we have the good combo again with Queen Ashara, Tamsin, and Drag below. So we gotta load it up soon. This guy is definitely not doing himself any favors with all these random card draws he's getting out of different classes, because once he starts repeating those, he's gonna fatigue the shit out of him. Cool.
Time's ticking.
That is worth removing.
Mm.
But still not with
Maybe
customer.
the Abyss. Yeah.
Exactly. That's also cute, but I'll save it for the big guns. Yeah, Abyssal. And then Hero Power.
Hero power. Yep.
Wait. Are we at 9 cards? No, we're at 10. Fuck.
Done.
What the fuck are you doing here, dude? Did you literally make a fucking Twitch account to join? Damn, boy. How's it going, birthday boy? How you doing? Recognize this? It's my favorite read. My trusty companion. How's it going, man? How's it going? Dude, happy to have ya. Yeah, my gym partner decided to drop by. How's it going, man?
Hi.
Okay, let's see how we're gonna fuck this guy up. Okay. He's at 7 cards. Okay, and gets another one. I really don't want to waste the entitled customer on this. Kinda don't want to waste that.
Yep.
I think it's time for us to set up the Queen Ashara BS.
Okay.
Is it actually? We have alternatives. We have some alternatives.
I'm not getting any younger.
Nah, fuck it. Go for Queen Ashara. It's time to go for the jugular.
Okay.
We have plotted long enough. Now we run.
Take the Ring of Tides again. Drain
Yeah.
Soul the 2-free.
Train so the 2-3.
Should we even consider... Nah, just tempo the Mixtress. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's
And
about
that's
it. Yeah, next turn we can really go hard. I'm assuming he's also gonna try to flood the board a bit, and we're just gonna remove all of that stuff while giving him 4 curses. Maybe even touch a few things with the NAF regime. Should be decent. So we're gonna go with 3, 4, 5, 6 next turn. It's a lot of damage. It's 18 damage just from those, and if he doesn't play any of them, he's gonna take more. Story Bob.
Oh, nice
Okay.
target.
Yep, we're pretty happy. We don't have good touch targets, but we'll make some. We'll make something up. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we start with Tamsin.
Yep, 3 mana Tamsin.
Then below the 6/5.
Exactly.
Then 1 mana below.
On the 3/3.
Okay, on the 3/3.
Mhm.
Yep. 0 mana on the 6/1.
On the 3/3, I'd say, so we can fit in a touch. On the 3/3.
On the 3/3.
I mean, we don't have enough targets, so yeah, use one on the 6/1 as well.
Yep, and we can still touch the.
Yeah, hero
2/1.
power and touch the 2/1.
Yep. And touch the 2/1.
Easy. Okay. Check all of that damage now. There's the cultist to take the wheel for after these curses are gone.
Mm-hmm.
I have too many cards.
Nope. Yep.
Oh,
That is what he has. He has 99 problems, but cards ain't none. Curses eater.
yep. If he plays, every curse is 6 mana. So,
Insufficient curses elude him.
yep. And we still have the customer, Gigafin, and Cultist.
Yep.
Next curse is 6.
He literally has to spend 8 mana on curses right now. Okay, he's gonna get some armor instead. Can't blame him.
Okay.
He's gonna leave only one small curse in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was our favorite one, so joke's on him.
Yeah.
Well, he takes 7. Yeah, he just dead to the cultist
Yeah.
in face. Easy.
Everything face.
Everything face, 3 mana cultist, GG.
And the Cultist here.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, the
7.
cultist alone was enough with the faces.
Yeah, because of that. But
So yeah, that is the combo I was talking about earlier, which I was expecting to see a lot more today, but games were just super fast, or we never got to the point where we could do this. Like, it's a 3-card combo, and it requires a little bit of setup too. But yeah, this is a combo you should be comfortable looking forward to in slower control-y matchups.